Panhard and Levassor Type Q 1905-10. This Panhard at Levassor Type Q double phaeton with coachwork by Levassor has a 10.5-liter engine with 40 head cylinders, each with over 2.6-liter capacity. To help carry the enormous weight, the wooden chassis was metal-plated before it was sent to Paris for the Levassor company to body. This automobile was delivered to a London company in 1905 and was possibly used there as a taxi. Discovered in a barn in London in 1966, it was sold to a collector in the United States, who set about a meticulous restoration of the bodywork. Every detail was carefully researched. The finished car eventually went to the Otis Chandler collection in 1997. The work performed by the French firm of Panhard at Levassor aided in the technical evolution of the automobile. The work that they did and the innovations that they produced helped acceleration the popularity of the automobile. Automobile production in France had its advantages. The roadways were far superior to many other countries, which led to a quicker acceptance of the automobile. Racing soon became popular, as did car clubs. Racing became one of the major means of advertisements, and it was often said that how an automobile finished during the weekend dictated the sales during the weekday. There was a close working relationship between Emil Levassor and Gottlieb Daimler. Both were mechanically gifted and together designed and created some of the earliest known examples of the combustion engine. Experimentation and perfection continued during the 1890s. Levassor preferred placing the engine in the front of the vehicle, while Daimler's designs had the engine located under the seat. During an automobile race in 1897, Levassor was seriously injured and died a short time after. The company continued to produce automobiles, but their importance in the automotive industry declined. In 1965 it was taken over by Citroën. Though their importance in history was destined to decline, their period of innovation was truly remarkable. The vehicles they produced during the early 1900s were among the best in the world, with their top-of-the-line being the 50-horsepower model. It was debuted at the 1904 Paris Salon and drew its design and mechanical inspiration from their 13.5 and 15.5-liter racing cars. The 50 horsepower was powered by a 10.6-liter engine that meant each of its 4 cast iron cylinders had a displacement size of 2.6 liters each. The engine was mated to a 4-speed gearbox with a cone clutch similar to the setup used in Panhard's racing program. 2 very sturdy chains were used to turn the rear wheels. It is believed that around 79 examples of the 50 horsepower were constructed, with only a few still in existence in modern times. This particular example is chassis number 12020. One of its earliest owners was Harvey Ducross of London, who took possession of the car on May 22 of 1905. The original owner is still unknown. The car was later put into storage where time, weather, and the elements eventually degraded the car's beauty and structure. When it was found in 1966, it was basically just a chassis, with rust and rot throughout. It retained its original chassis and engine, and while being restored, was submitted to the Veteran Car Club of Great Britain for inspection. It was confirmed to be from the 1905 period, but its Claudel Hobson carburetor and manifold were incorrect. Most other details about the car were true to original form. It was offered for sale at Sotheby's auction on May 15 of 1969 and purchased by Colin Crabb. Under Crabb's care, the car was given a limousine body. A total restoration was performed during the early 1990s. It was during this time that the car was given a period-correct and relaboured double phaeton body. A Victoria hood and windscreen were added for the rear passengers. A full set of nickel deuxiliary acetylene lamps were used for lighting. The ownership of the car later passed to Otis Chandler and stayed in his possession until his death in 2006. It has been awarded the French Cup at the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance. It returned to Pebble Beach in 2007, where it was honored in the 10+ Club class for its over 10-liter engine. In 1898, the Panhard was a technologically sophisticated vehicle with such features as aluminum gearbox casings and pneumatic tires. Its producer, Panhard at Levassor, was originally founded in 1845 to build woodworking machinery, but moved toward automobile production, and by 1891 offered a two-cylinder car. With the Panhard, French engineer Émile Constant Levassor developed the basic design of the modern gasoline automobile, including the classic configuration of a front-mounted vertical engine, wheel steering and rear-driven wheels. Panhards were produced continuously until the 1960s. The Panhard at Levassor Type Q was produced from 1904 through 1905 and featured an engine that displaced 10.5 liters and produced 63 horsepower.